All right, we are live. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Yo, what up? It's the motherfucking Beat Table with LLY, where we interview producers and beat makers and find out why they do what they do. And today we got a special guest. And you are?
My name is Dmar.
Yeah, I am Dmar. Yo, this is going to be an interesting interview because just like you, we had a DJ Warlock 1.
Right.
And did you see his interview?
Yeah.
He was doing the finger drumming and shit. I personally enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy the whole, like, tapping and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's on the SP404 or the Koala sampler or whatever, and they're just, like, doing the effects and all that shit. But the MPC is, like, a whole different ball game.
Yeah, it definitely is a different ball game. It just depending on how you look at it. For me, this is something that I just always love to do. I feel like it is a little bit of a dying art when you do say that, mention that, a lot of producers are on the SP, and I actually have an SP myself, and performing with that is cool. But for me to feel the music, I love just hitting the pads and just finger drumming. So.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with the SP404.
Yeah, no,
like, that
not
shit,
at all.
That shit's a dope ass machine. Like, I love what it does, and you know what I'm saying. But the MPC has its own little feeling, its own vibe. You know what I'm saying? So that's just dope. Like I was telling you earlier, like I was definitely checking out your Instagram videos, and I'm like, this dude gets down. Yeah, like he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, and it's all self-taught. Everything that you see, I basically taught myself, and seeing other producers. There's actually this one producer. His name is Durazo, and a lot of people don't know him. But I saw him one time, and he posted a video of him finger drumming 2 MPCs, and the beat that was rocking, and just the way his fingers were moving, and the way he was just in total control. I was like, wow, man, like that was inspiration for me to pick it up. Because at the time I was already using an MPC, but I wasn't really rocking it like that as far as finger drumming.
Yeah.
So when I saw him and the way he got busy, I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Like A-Rap.
Yeah, exactly.
That
A-Rap,
dude's insane, bro.
He is.
I'm like, what? Like, what does he eat for breakfast? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And then he was. I don't know if you've seen that YouTube video where he was with Busta Rhymes. And they're all like, check out this guy, and it was A-Rap, and they're like, all right, let me see what you got, and that fool's like, brrr.
Yeah, he got,
and Busta
crazy.
Was like, like just wilding out, like. But
yeah, dudes get crazy on the MPC, man. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty expert with it, but I know that there's other cats that some that I follow on social media, and to see their videos and just be like, wow, man, it's pretty amazing on how technical it can get, and how crazy they could get.
That's just dope. That shit like turns into a religion. You know what I'm saying? Like you start praying to it and doing sacrifices and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something like that.
But okay, so where's Dmar from?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know that, but know this. But I'm actually originally from Costa Mesa. So shouts to Westside Costa Mesa, and yeah, man, that's where I grew up. Went to high school, elementary, high school.
Nice.
So and then when I was in my 20s. I actually moved to Modena, which is a neighborhood area that's in East Orange, the city of Orange. Oh, okay. So when I was in college, I lived there, and now I live in Santa Ana. So that's my home now. Yeah.
So is it true that it's really windy there?
Nah, well, it's nah.
Because I hear it gets windy over there.
Yeah, no, it definitely the winds, definitely pick up there. Yeah,
they call it the Santa Ana winds,
the
right?
Santa Ana winds. Yeah, no, they come howling.
You're
but
like
it's all
holding
over.
onto a tree and shit.
Yeah,
like.
It's just not in Santa Ana. It's really everywhere, man. Those winds, they definitely do some damage.
Hell yeah. So growing up, right there in Costa Mesa. What was like the music scene like? Because you were there as a teenager.
Right.
And obviously you were like getting into like the whole, hip hop shit and all that. So what was the scene like? Yeah,
so, the scene was really amongst us as far as like growing up. We would go to shows, but, hip hop has always been my main the main music that I've always gravitated towards. That's something I've always loved. But really, where it derived from was the soul. That's really what I grew up on. It was a lot of like the soul, old school stuff, stuff my parents used to listen to. So it's crazy, growing up, and I grew up like on the Isley Brothers and the Earth, Wind and Fires as a kid. But then once I started to get a little bit older and started to kind of navigate through music, that's when Dr. Dre was coming out, and my first tape was actually Too Short Dogs in the House. Ooh. And so I used to have that tape, and I used to listen to that thing over and over again, and just be mesmerized by the flows and just the smoothness and just the way he was laying it down and the beats. And so once I started to really catch on a lot of these artists and started to see how they were sampling the older records, it's like everything just came full circle for me,
You're like, bling.
Yeah, hearing Dr. Dre's, hearing the Leon Haywoods, hearing the Isley Brothers with Ice Cube and the samples and all that, and it's like, yeah, just putting it all together, because literally if you remember, there's a station called 92.3 The Beat.
Yeah,
and so I used to listen to that, and one time I was, driving, my mom was driving, and then that's when I heard the beginning of Today Was a Good Day by Ice Cube, and I was like, oh man, that's an Isley Brothers track. And then he started rapping, I was like, whoa, man, was
that not amazing?
Yeah, it was. Exactly.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 40.
Okay, I'm 42. So in that era of like me being a young kid, because I was like 10, 11 years old when I started hearing all that, right? And just going from listening to old school shit to being a teenager and listening to hip hop. Right. And I'm like, all these songs sound so familiar. And I'm like, yeah, these dudes are sampling the old shit that I was listening to into new, like hip hop shit. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing, because I really do love that old school soul music. Yeah. Like I collect the records, all that, and to hear them being able to recreate it and really pay homage to those original records that dropped. I mean, for me, I loved it. So
yeah, that's what's
up. So that going up, it was obviously, I used to listen to a lot of Death Row, a lot of from that camp, and then when Wu came out, and then Nas, it's just really being able to dive into the music that was coming out at that time, and it was just it was. I fucking loved it.
Speaking of Death Row, Snoop Dogg bought Death Row back, right? Like It's been a minute already. Do you think something great's gonna come out of it, like we were used to hearing?
Yeah.
Or do you think he's just gonna hang on to what we were used to hearing?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, it just depends on what people he puts in the right position to be able to get it to where it was before. But I feel like to be able to recreate that decade of music that they had in the early '90s, there's no way that they can ever be able to recreate that, man. With Dog Pound and the way that they came out.
I hope they drop something nice, man. I'm like, dang, because you listen to the catalog they brought back. Right. And you're just like, fuck yeah, because it was gone for a long time.
It was.
And it's like now I'm bumping Death Row shit, and I'm like, damn, this is dope. And I'm like waiting for. I don't even know if they dropped anything new.
Right.
Because I'm still listening to that. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope. I mean, I know he's doing a lot of shit. Like he did a collaboration with Happy Dad. The drinks.
Right.
He did a Death Row wine. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of Death Row shit coming out, so that's dope, man. So did you grow up with a big family or a small family?
Yeah, I grew up with the big family. Immediate family was just my mom, my dad, and my brother. Shout out Irie Beats. He's also a producer.
Oh, your brother makes beats too?
Yeah, real dope.
We're gonna have to have a brother collaboration.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and it was just us four. My both my parents. Our families, I had a lot of aunts, a lot of uncles, a lot of cousins on both sides. So most of them grew up in Molina, so they're all from Orange. And it's funny, they're actually high school sweethearts. So the families literally live like everybody knows each other.
No way.
So yeah.
So they're all still with the same that they met and just they're
right.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah. Well, my pops passed away, so rest in peace to my pops. He passed away about 10 years ago. But yeah, they were high school sweethearts, and the families knew each other, and they literally lived like on the other side. Oh,
your mom and dad were high school sweethearts?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, I wish, man. That would have been dope.
Yeah.
I wish I met my girl in high school. I would have been like, it would have been a whole different ball game, man.
Yeah, but things happen for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the family's big, and it's like I said, it's great. It's great. I get a lot of support from my family.
That's dope.
When it comes to shows, when it comes to anything that I drop,
they roll up.
Yeah,
they're
always supporting, and it's been like that ever since the beginning. When I first came out as a rapper and I was spitting and I was making beats, but I was mostly focusing on being an MC.
Yeah,
they would come out to my shows and even to this day, now that I'm doing a lot more beat sets, they come in and they support.
So how old would you say that you started rapping?
Well, I was rapping in high school, so I was like a sophomore in high school, so I was about 14, 15 is when I first started to freestyling and just the friends that I had back then. That's all. We were all like hip hop heads, so that's all we would do. We would just freestyle, make beats, or not make beats, but just get instrumentals and just flow, and it was just something that we just loved to do.
Bro, imagine if we had the resources that these teenagers have right now.
Yeah.
Fucking YouTube. Yeah. Fucking Spotify, like, hey, play a bunch of instrumentals.
Yeah.
Spotify will play you like 30 hours of instrumentals.
I remember like I used to, listen to the radio and I would just record them on my cassette. When I was like younger.
Shit.
Yeah, all that. I would just record them and I would just play them and then they would have like little commercials. So I would take them out. But, the youth now and just everybody in general, they're really spoiled because you could just go to YouTube. If something comes out, you can just go to YouTube and just stream it for free.
We had to wait for the radio to drop that shit, huh?
Yeah, that or actually go and support and buy it. So I have all my CDs, because I used to have cassettes, but also have my CDs. So we had to invest in it, because if you picked up an album and you knew that they had a dope song, you have to listen to the whole album. It's not just what they're going to be playing on the radio. Yeah. So
that's crazy, man. So who would you say got you involved in doing music?
Who got me involved?
Yeah.
That's a good question. It was always just in me, but as far as like, let's say specifically like beats, years ago I used to work at Edward Cinemas, which is now Regal, the movie theater, and at the time one of my boys, we would go back to his crib, maybe burn one, just freestyle. Well, he was super into just wanting to just make beats. And so he told me, hey man, I bought this new program, Fruity Loops. And he showed me and I listened to it and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Obviously it needs to be a little touched up, but no, that's cool. So we would freestyle and he's like, hey dude, you got to take this program home and make something. And then, we'll come back and then we'll do that. I was like, all right, cool. So that night I went back home and I installed the program. And I made 2 beats, and I thought they were pretty dope, for me. But it wasn't anything where it's like life changing. So then I went back to him. I burned it on a CD. We went back, and I just never forget the look on his face when I played him, and he was just like, "Whoa!"
Did you guys hear that? He burned it on a CD.
Yeah, I burned it on a CD, and we were bumping that in my
That's
car.
Old school.
And he just the look on his face, he was like, "Whoa, what is this, man? He didn't believe I made it." And I was like, "Dude, you got to be kidding me, man! I literally just made this." And so he said, "Dude, just keep on making them." I was like, "Really?" So then it was like an aha moment,
Yeah.
I went back and then I started to really just to dive more deeply into it, and then I did a little bit more because I knew at the time when it came to making beats, it was all about machines. There was no programs, at least for me. It was always an MPC, it was an SP1200. It was always hardware. So when I was making beats on Fruity Loops, which is like FL Studio now, it's like I always felt like, I just wasn't really connecting with it in a sense where it's like I had to have like, piano or keyboard, something to just actually play. So the first couple of years, that's what I used. I used that, and then I used a program called Magic Music Maker. Erozilla, I remember I saw it.
Yeah, he was talking about that.
I was like, whoa, man, dude, that's a gem. So, but yeah, I picked up that program, and that really is what transitioned me to really learning and understanding how to really do the song structures, to incorporating more samples and touching up not just the samples, but layering them with other sounds and just really start to
adding to it and shit.
Yeah, and it took me a while, a few years for me to really get comfortable and start to really figure out, because there was something in me. It was like, man, I got to create a certain sound, something that I love, and I knew it was obviously like soul bass, sample bass, and then I just picked up my first MPC, and then the rest has pretty much been history.
Fucking created a monster, huh?
Yeah, it really did that. Yeah, my boy, yeah, he really did, and he doesn't do beats or anything like that. Yeah. So that's how it happened, and that was back in 2001.
Damn. And what is homie doing right now? Like, is he still doing music?
No, he's not doing music. No,
no way.
Yeah, he does not doing music.
Do you guys still chop it up?
Not as much. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna watch this interview and be like, God damn. He's like, you better mention me on that shit. No. That's crazy. So how did you come up with Dmar? Like, is that like?
Well, my name is Danny Martin. So I mean, that's kind of how I kind of put it together. But back in high school, that's what everybody would call me, is Dmar, because everybody called me D Martin, or it was always Danny Martin.
Okay.
But people just started to just shorten it up, so it's Dmar, and it just stuck with me.
Was that also your MC name?
Yeah.
Dmar?
Yeah. I used to rock with a crew called the Illustrators, and I was with my cousin Takeover, shout out Sonar Beats, and then Analysts, shout out to Cross Eyes. They're still in it, and yeah, man, we formed a trio crew called the Illustrators, and I was making the beats, and we would just do little shows here and there, and this was like in the mid 2000s when we did that. So we were rocking mostly out there, like in Santa Ana. We did like the Observatory. We would do spots like in Huntington Beach, some spots in Long Beach, and but then I just knew that it wasn't really in me to want to be like an MC. I mean, it was cool being on stage and rocking, and I loved it, but I just felt like I'm such a perfectionist when it came to any type of my art. So, and I knew that my rapping was like here in the beginning, my beats were here, and then all of a sudden it just went, you know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, I can't even really be on my own shit.
Grab the mic and just threw that shit, huh?
So, so then I started to, reach out, and I started collaborating with other artists, and that's pretty much where it's been at. So,
yeah, I literally started making beats because I was rapping, and when I would try to get beats from people, they would like take too long, or I didn't have money. And I was like, man, I'm gonna start making my own shit. And I started with Fruity Loops 3, and I started making my own beats, and I still use it to this day. I mean, I even have it tattooed on me.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I did the same exact thing. I started progressing in my beats, and I just started rapping less and less and less. And everybody's like, make me a beat, make me a beat. So I was in the studio just making beats all day. You know what I'm saying? So it was the same thing for me. And I mean, pretty much everybody that comes on this platform is like, I started rapping, and then I started making beats, and I fell in love with that, and I just quit rapping. And it's like, that's dope, man. We need more beat makers, because back in the days there was hardly any.
Well, the thing that's crazy, man, is that at the time when my boy was telling me about, like, yeah, you get this program Beats, like, the thought of being a beat maker or producers was not even in the realm of even possibilities. And then when I started to do it, it was a while before I started catching on to some of the other people that were doing it. Like Flip the Soul Fisher. He's a OG out of Fullerton, and he was also a beat maker too. But they were doing it as well, but there was not that many. But now I'm starting to see, everybody can be able to do it. Whether it's like the programs that you use, or like the SPs. And I think it's great, man. I think it's there's definitely is opportunity for a lot of people to really make put their stamp in this industry with some dope sounds.
They're definitely coming out the woodworks now, and a lot of them are young, dude. It's like the new generation, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we're like older cats, like in our 40s already, and we still got it, you know what I'm saying? It's not like rapping where you're like, fuck, like I don't nobody want to see my old ass up here, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking old fat guy and shit. But now it's like, shit, you make beats, shit, bring your laptop, bring your machine, bring you whatever, your iPad, or they got Koala Sampler now.
Exactly.
So it's like, bring whatever, we want to hear your beats and shit, and I think that's dope, man.
No, I think it's great. great. I think that, if you have the want and the passion to do it, there's definitely is opportunity. And like the way we were just talking about earlier, like the LA beat scene, and there's just so many shows that are coming out and giving a lot of producers the opportunity to really showcase what they have. So, and I think that's great.
That's just dope, man. Yeah. So what inspires you to create?
What inspires me to create? Really, it's just the music that I listen to. So the stuff that I sample, I'm originally just listening to it. So whether it's the records that I pick up, but really it's the music that I'm literally sampling. Like I'll listen to it and I listen to it for my enjoyment, but then I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what, I could be able to chop that up, or but I don't even really dive into it like that, where it's like I have sessions where I just listen to music and just to, essentially like meditate, and then I make a mental note in my head. Okay, you know what, this one track at minute and 34, I gotta hit that loop. I have to, and then I just remember it, and then when I get into that mode, there's certain times when I just have to just create, because being and what I do, there's different there's different like stages of like creating, whether it's actually creating it or even tracking it. Like it takes time to do all that, and then also like when it comes to like performing, I have to like practice it, or create certain sounds for certain artists. But when I sit down and just start creating, man, it just comes right out. So
yeah, no, that's true, man. I mean, we do find that inspiration in what, because I love to sample.
Right.
I've tried making an original beat, and I just don't like it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I add like little things like a synth or, something to like already a sample beat. I'll add something to it, but as far as making an original beat, I'm like, nah, man, I want to dig through like old ass like Russian music or some shit, and I want to find what kind of sounds I'm going to find in there, and then make a fucking hip hop beat out of it.
Well, that's what hip hop is all. That's a foundation, man. When it comes to all the music, is definitely is sampling. The oldest hip hop records are all pretty much samples from like James Brown to all those old school artists. So, but I'm like that with you too. When I first made beats, I didn't use samples at all, and I really just trained myself on the piano. I had a keyboard, a Roland XP80, and I would just do these different chords and synths, and just learn like what works and what doesn't. And so, when I say being self-taught, it really just helped me to understand the music, and I'm just really lucky to have a good ear when it comes to certain sounds that I like, that I can be able to work on. So
yeah, that's dope, man. So do you just use the MPC, or do you have other, like, do you use the DAW, or you're just machine?
Yeah, so when it comes to like creating, I generally use the 2500, the MPC 2500. I actually have two of these. This is the one I actually have when I go out and perform and all that. This is the one I bring out, but I have another one at home that I use strictly for just creating. That's all it is. Yeah. And I have a SP404 SX, and I use that mainly for like sound effects, for compression, and if I want to get some cool effects, I'll use that. But that's usually what I do when I stream that right into I use Pro Tools, so that's how I track all my beats.
Okay.
I also have Machine Studio, so I definitely dabble with Native Instruments as well, and I have a 2000 XL was my original. Yeah, the
that's
MPC 2000 XL.
That's the Frankenstein right there.
Yeah.
Huh?
And I love it, man. And I think the sound that comes out of that is so gritty and warm. I love it. The reason why I transitioned from that to this is really because of the way I can. This one can just really hold a lot more as far as like memory. And then when you're hitting certain pads, you have to hold it down on the 2000 XL, because you don't have the note cutoff, where this one, you don't have to worry about it. Plus, for people that have the 2500 or even the MPC 1000, JJOS is a straight game changer. So I don't even know if you're familiar with that, but that's like the new updated software program that's used on, I believe it's only on the 2500 and the 1000, and just that update alone,
And what does it do?
It's just the way when it comes to when you create, it's just the way easier just to navigate.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Hell yeah. That's what's up. So is there any beat makers that you wish you could collaborate with that's like on a wish list?
Any beat makers that I could collaborate with? I wouldn't necessarily say like collaborate with, but there's a lot that I definitely look up to, and like the Alchemist, for instance. I actually had a chance to meet him. I did a show out in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And with my boy Supreme Cerebral, shout out to Supreme Cerebral. I was out there with him in Planet Asia, and he was there backstage, and I went and chopped it up with him, man. And this guy he's super cool, super chill, man. And it was great to connect with him. But I mean, as far as collaborations, I would always love to. I'll collaborate with really anybody, but for me, I'm just really so focused on like what I have going on. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when it comes to collaborations, I actually been collaborating with collectors, people that actually collect records. So I'm working with my boy George Miller. Shout out to George. He's been coming over to the studio, man, with some rare 45s
stacks.
But he has super rare recorers that are original. They're not reissues. So he definitely has been blessing me. So
hell yeah, that's dope. So is there any artist that you would want to work with? Like produce an EP for them or like an album or something?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of artists I would like to work out with there. I mean, nobody really comes to mind. I think that right now I'm pretty much set with the artists that I've been working with. I mean, obviously there's so many that I would want to, but at this point I'm just really trying to just focus on just rocking beats and doing like beat tapes and stuff like that. So
I'm so in love with like a lot of beat tapes right now, bro. Yeah. Like that's literally like what I listen to, like if I'm driving, like if I'm alone and I'm chilling, like working or whatever, like I just listen to instrumentals. Yeah. The whole time I'm like, I don't even want to hear nobody rapping or nothing right now.
And the artists that I collaborate with, man, it really is organic. Yeah. It's always been like that, and that's something that I really pride myself in. So, and I have to make sure the sound is right.
Yeah, most definitely. Hell yeah. And are you working on any projects right now? With any artists?
Yeah. I got a couple projects that are gonna be coming out. I got one with my boy JM called Last Call. We have a single that we're gonna be dropping on Friday.
This Friday
I'm dropping this. Nice. Yeah, we're dropping the single. It's the first single off the album. It's a follow up. This album that we're dropping is a follow up for a last album that we dropped in 2001 called Long Distance.
Oh shit.
So I'm also working on with my boy Supreme Cerebral. We're working on some stuff. My boy Mess One. And I have a couple other couple of the gems that are gonna be coming. So coming soon. Yeah. So
a whole lot of beats coming. You guys better watch out, man. Dmar coming for that ass. That's what's up. So what makes your beats so unique?
That's a good question, man. I mean, I don't think that it's really unique. It's just really what it's just I'm feeling, Mm-hmm. So it could be the style, the way that I'm flipping it, but other than that, I just really focus on stuff that really calls to me. You know what I mean? Like that pain, that soul, like that's the stuff that I really, really love. And, maybe that is one way of looking at it being so unique and it's so authentic. If you really sit down and listen to my beat tapes, you could tell that it's raw and it's basically doing it live. Yeah. There's no sequencing, there's none of that going on. It's just me just literally playing straight through. So that could be something that I guess you could look at it from that perspective of it being pretty unique.
Hell yeah. Can you create in certain feelings? Because I know a lot of people are like, when I'm pissed off, I can't even do shit.
Right.
Like, can you create even though, like, say you come home and like somebody fucking cut you off and you're like, man, fuck this motherfucker, I'm gonna make a beat right now.
Yeah, I don't really create, like let my emotions get in the way of me creating. I just feel like with life it's just so busy that I have to have a certain time frame blocked off where I know like, okay, this is the time. I don't really look at it as work, but that's just the time that I'm just gonna just do what I have to do. Yeah. But for me, I have it really planned out. I generally don't just like start to just create in a way where I'm just really just all over the place. I already have it in mind and like a goal. Like this is exactly what I want to do. Okay, I'm actually gonna be chopping up these 3 samples and I'm gonna create 3 beats. Out of those 3 beats, I'm probably gonna only like one, if that, and that's the one I'm gonna track into Pro Tools.
Yeah.
You know, the other ones I'll probably leave in there, and then that's the way. That's like my method to my madness. So
I did the same exact thing. I was like, I hadn't really made beats for like, we have a collective called Mad Love, me and my homie, my brother, and like I do stuff for us, right? But at the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do 10 beats in one day, and I rocked 10 beats in 13 hours. And I'm talking, I didn't have the samples. I had to look for the samples. I had to chop the samples. I did all the drumming, and I sampled some drumming. I formatted it with like an intro, chorus, and a verse, like just to like, cause I was posting it on Instagram. Like every hour, I had another beat with like a little video, another beat with a little. In 13 hours, I made 10 beats. Dog. That shit was refreshing.
That's great.
I was like, I still got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they were, to me, they were all hard.
Yeah.
They were nice.
Well, like you said, man, I mean, as long as you're feeling it, it doesn't matter, man. I mean, I know that there's certain producers that will take a long time to create one instrumental, you know, and I know some that will do it within 5 minutes. Like myself, it's sometimes I'll have like, someone will bring a record and we'll listen to it. I'm like, okay, we're gonna work right now, and I'll just create it and I do it right on the spot. So and that could take 10 minutes, you know, and it could be a banger, but. You know, it really is not about the time that you put into it, as long as the feeling is there. And as long as it feels good and sounds good to us. Yeah. That's really, at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. Yeah. So.
That's what a rapper said. He goes, I don't care if you like my music. I like my music.
Yeah. No, but that's true.
I don't care what you think.
But it really is true, man, because, you know, as us as artists, it's we have to really be comfortable with it and not stray away from that. And no matter what it is that you do, it doesn't even have to be music. You just have to just really just do you, you know, because we're all unique. We're all, you know, authentic in our own way. So that's the way I look at it.
Even though, like, let's just say, like, I had a beat mentor. Like, he taught me everything. I don't make anything even close to what he makes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with you. Like, you've probably been around a bunch of producers and... Every single one of you guys is like totally different.
Yeah, or we can even use the same sample.
Yeah, know? Exactly.
Like we'll use the same exact sample.
It's gonna be flipped differently.
It'll be completely different. So, you know, and everybody has different styles. Like my brother Irie Beats, you know, his is really hard boom bap, just really dope bangers.
Raw shit.
Yeah, like that raw word you hear, you just want to just start
Who's older? Who's younger?
He's younger.
He's younger by how many years?
About 7 years.
Damn.
Yeah, 7 years. So
he was like, how much longer? Like, you started making beats, and then he was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna make beats."
I was in it for already a while, and then I would basically, you know, show him like how to use, because he uses the MPC 2500 too. So just kind of things that are easy for me to navigate, and he kind of just ran with it with his own style, because everybody's gonna have their own different way of doing it. Yeah. But yes, but he's been rocking for a minute now.
That's dope.
Yeah, he has some dope collaborations, and he has his album that he just released. He sold out his vinyl. So
damn. That's dope.
Straight out of Costa Mesa.
Let's go Costa Mesa.
West Side.
That's dope. So so if I gave you a blank check, right? And with that blank check, you could go to Guitar Center or any website. Which equipment or equipments would you purchase?
I probably would get the SP 1200. Now that's something that you can't buy.
I heard that shit running like 9Gs right now.
Yeah.
If you find it.
Yeah. They're up there. They're up there. And it's one of the things where I would love to just have one, just to make I would probably, when I get my hands on one, I'll probably just make a whole beat tape just using just that. But it's one of the original piece of hardware that producers were using, and just the fact of just trying to have one, because they're so rare to have them, and the thing is there's only a certain amount of time that you can sample, so you can't be doing like what you're gonna hear from me. I won't be able to do that on the 1200. So it's like
you just gotta make a song, huh?
Yeah, you have to be able to be real strategic on where you're sampling and how you're sampling, because I believe it's like seconds that you get to of memory that you can put into the machine and sample in one program or one track. So yeah, that would be the one right there. would be that.
1200.
Yeah, that or if I had like infinite amount of money, I really would want to kind of recreate the old garage soul sound with other artists. And I know there's some people already doing it, but there's some records that I have where I'm like, man, these things people need to hear them, and people do, like the collectors, because there's a collector scene where they go and whether it's the funk scene, shout out to Funk Freaks, the funk scene or the soul scene, and there's people that really are diehard with their music and their collection, like, and I respect that. And I don't know where I was going off with that, but anyways, yeah. So the records, So what I would do is I would recreate that myself and actually get someone to do the singing. I would hire a band and just recreate these sounds. I wouldn't sample it, but I would want to like be the curator of like, okay, this is how I want it to sound. So let's just create it our own way.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
that would definitely be sick. I love live music.
Yeah,
I love live music. I don't care what they're playing. They could be playing some banjo ass shit. I'm just like, oh shit. Yeah.
Well, even the beat shows, man. The beat shows, they get. I mean, I love them, man. Like,
it's dope.
Yeah,
it's dope.
It's cool to see that and see what people have, and when they bring their machines, it doesn't matter what it is, man. As long as you're coming like authentic and you're coming with music that's coming from the heart, man. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, like I'm saying, there was this guy. I can't remember her name. I think it was Third Child. I went to a show called Soul Clap, and he just brought his phone on Koala Sampler, and he just had all his shit on there, and he was just like, bah, 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 bah.
And got busy.
I was like, tell me why he was one of the illest ones there. Dog.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I just interviewed him like this week that just passed, but I'm just like, man, you literally cannot like let's just say I'm fucking broke, right? I'm broke. I can't purchase a MPC. I can't purchase a laptop. I can't get anything, right?
Right.
There's no fucking excuse. Be like, dude, I could just download Koala Sampler for $4.99.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And create what you want right there.
Yeah.
Because you could sample into there, drums, sample chops, like all that shit, and you could chop it up and everything. And that's a dope ass app, dude. I don't know if you've been on it, but
I've been on it. I haven't really created on it, but I've been on it and I've checked it out, and
nice.
It's like, yeah, it is. It is. It's cool to see the technology that's out now. I mean, it's for me. I've always loved like the standalone hardware, but I know MPC has like the Live and the MPC X. So, but it's just great to see that, man.
Yeah.
It's great to see that the technology is starting to get so advanced where anybody, even if you don't can't afford it, you could still be able to make beats.
You better be ready, dog. They're gonna have the glasses where like a screen pops up and you're just like, bah, 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 bah. Not to be fucking in the future, dog. You'd be like, man, you'd be at work like fucking just making beats and shit. You know what I'm saying? Little headphones and shit.
Be like, hey, my man, what are you doing right there?
No, nothing, just chilling. They're just seeing you fucking finger tapping and shit. Like, god damn, if we're getting down over there. But that's something we have to look forward to, because I would have never imagined using Koala Sampler.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you either get a laptop or you get a fucking machine.
Exactly.
And now it's like, nah, you do this shit on your phone.
Yeah.
That's just crazy, dog. But hell yeah. So if I was to give you a plane ticket, right? And you could go anywhere in the world to create an album, beat tape with an artist, whatever, where would that destination be?
I've been there already, but it would be I would go back to Tokyo. Yeah, I'll go back to Japan. I think that when I went out there, I really didn't dive into the music scene, into any of the shops. I was more of like a tourist out there, and I wasn't really thinking of like music wise. But now that I'm away and I see how vibrant it is there, I would love to do something there. Similar to like what Jay Dilla did something with, obviously with the influence of being out there in Japan. But yeah, that's where I would do it, man.
Yeah, the sounds would be amazing out there.
Yeah, I would love to use some. I've sampled some old Japanese traditional style music. Yeah, but to be able to go into the shops and actually dig, because that's what I would do. I would just go and dig in the records, find them, and I would just create.
I've sampled like a few of my favorite fucking beats off of a Japanese dude. I can't remember his name. Something with a K. It's like Kamayama or some shit like that. But I'm like, their sound is like, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck, how come nobody's touched this shit? Like, they probably never even found it. I don't know, but I'm just like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
dog.
and the hip hop scene out there is live.
No, the b-boy scene out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think hip hop period is like, it's cracking out there.
Oh,
I mean, now they got the lowriders out there and shit.
Yeah.
They all dress like cholos and shit.
I've seen that.
That's just crazy. Yeah. And they're about it, and they're respected over here as well as they respect them over there because they appreciate the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's just crazy, dog. So everybody watching the beat table, what they're about to watch, do you have anything to tell them?
Just enjoy. That's it. Yeah. Just you get to see what I do, and yeah, man, just blessed to be here and
enjoy
share
some dope shit, huh?
Yeah, and just sit back, relax, and just watch me watch how I
Smoke
do.
something, drink something,
do
something,
yeah, exactly.
All right, so the main purpose of the beat table is not only getting to know the producers and the beat makers, but we want to hear some music. You know what I'm saying? So right now, do you want to take a break or you want to just tap in?
Oh, I can just dive right in.
We ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We ready?
Yeah.
All right. So only on the motherfucking beat table, you're about to hear Dmar do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Let him have it.
All right, here we go.
Dmar ain't playing, ladies and gentlemen. He with the business. Costa Mesa, Santa Ana, stand the fuck up. Dmar's in the building. Dmar's not playing, man. He's definitely not playing.
I try to be good. Nobody's sun is golden. Nobody's to be good. Nobody's sun is golden. Nobody's I try to be good. Hold it on to help my
killing him. You're killing him. You're killing him, dog. Hey, you guys need to check Dmar out. He's fucking amazing, as you guys can tell. You guys need to go follow. I am Dmar. This is the real fucking deal right here. Costa Mesa, what's up? West Side, what's up? Sample selection is disgusting, bro. That shit is nice, dog. Definitely soulful, dog. That shit's crazy.
That's it right there.
Man.
Just a little tip of the iceberg, man.
Yo. Yeah. Dmar.
I don't play any of these. That's what you heard. I don't play those at my beat sets.
Yo, Dmar came
that's
to fucking
exclusive.
End the beat table. That's it. Anybody that comes back on after this shit, you guys better be prepared, man, because I think Dmar definitely set the bar. You know what I'm saying? And
I appreciate that.
He definitely is not no joke, and his sample selection is insane. You know what I'm saying? I was just fucking vibing, yo. That shit was beautiful, dog. Hey, thank you so much for coming through, man. It's definitely a pleasure. I know that people's time is very valuable, so I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't gonna be the first time, you know. I definitely want there to be another, you know, maybe in the, you know, new location.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
there we go.
We're about to get some shit cracking. But thank you very much. I appreciate you coming through, and you know, your wife, and you guys are always more than welcome. Like I already told you, summer comes through. You know what I'm saying? We're about to get it cracking. But thank you so much, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that, and thank you to you, and thank you to the Beat Table, and to everybody else that's been supporting my music, man. I really appreciate it. I got a lot of material that's gonna be coming out, so like I said, once again, thank you so much. I do this for myself, really, because I love it, but I know that you guys love it too, so it all works. So
yeah, you got something dropping this Friday, right?
Yeah, I got a single coming out with my boy, the artist JM. It's a single called "Write You." It's a single that's coming off our upcoming album called Last Call. Mm-hmm. It's a follow-up from our last album, Long Distance. So if you guys get a chance, it can be streaming everywhere. So
nice.
It's this Friday.
All right, cool.
And then if you don't know, you can follow me at I am Dmar. I am DMAR.
Yeah. There it is. You guys already know. The links will be at the in the description. You guys make sure you tap in with my boy. He's definitely the truth. And this is what he does, man. He's a fucking beat maker, and he lived a beautiful life, and we do wrong and we do right, but here we are creating beautiful music. You know what I'm saying? It's the motherfucking Beat Table with Delewa and
Dmar.
Peace.